Okay,
Yes,
so
hi.
okay. So I welcome you all to today's class. We are having our first class of the clinical session, the clinical batch, and I hope that your journey with us goes really well and smoothly. So let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Iqra Ahmed, and I have done my FCPS from Pakistan, and I have also done my MRCPCH. I gave my clinical exam in Pakistan Center in 2023, and since then I have been involved in teaching. And I have been, I think I can see a few names of the students that have been in my AKP group as well. So I welcome you guys too. I've been associated with teaching for last 1.5 year, and so like starting this lecture. So let me just tell you that okay, someone has messaged. Dr. Amber has messaged that she is unable to hear me. Can rest of you confirm that is my voice clear or is it not?
It's clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Tajana. I'm really glad that you uh always message and respond. Okay, maybe I was a bit speaking a bit slower. I'll be louder and clearer. So the pattern and the format, basically, you know that the clinical exam is an interactive exam. It's a face-to-face. So that's why what we want from you, the participants, the students who have enrolled for our class. I have a list of names of all of you. So if you can just write your names in the group, those who have, because this is our first lecture, and I know that a lot of uh, people have joined in because we wanted more of you to just have to just attend this introductory lecture. So just message in the group whoever from the candidates who have registered are in the class. The format is going to be that for today, because it's a first class, first I wanted to give a detailed introduction of History Station, how to prepare for it, what comes in it. So it's going to take maybe around 1 to 1.5 hour. So in the first part, we'll be discussing about the introduction and everything. And in the second half, we are going to have interactive, like we'll be starting with the histories. CNS histories. Initially, I know that the schedule that you guys got had one class involved in which the history of CNS introduction was combined. But I felt that that is not enough because we want to do the CNS histories in detail as well. So we'll have divided this first class into two parts. So today we are going to do the introduction of the history station, all of its details, whatever questions do you guys have. And after clearing that, then we are going to move towards the history of headache, and I will be needing one participant who's going to actively participate and do the history station. And we'll discuss that. And the second part of this session, CNS histories, it will be done on Tuesday. So you'll get a link about that as well. Please let me know whoever from the enrolled batch is present here so that I can know that who's going to be presenting later on. Also, please do not be hesitant in, even if you are a beginner, you have never ever practiced before. I think you should definitely give a try. We are going to give opportunity to each one of you because from my personal experience and from all of those who have who have been given exams, they always say that active participation is much more important than the passive listening. So no doubt, obviously, if you're just listening, you are going to learn and have an idea of things as well. But if you're going to participate, even if you're doing it, not doing it like perfectly, but that's gonna help you, and that's really gonna make your track right from the beginning. Like you're gonna be on the right track from the very beginning. So I think we have quite a number of participants, and I was just waiting if we could have more participants so that we can slide. But obviously, these are going to be recorded lectures, and a lot of the participants are going to have these to listen these later on as well. So let's just start with the history station, its instruction and everything. If at any point you guys have any question, feel free to just ask. I do not want it to be a unidirectional or one side teaching class, because unlike the written classes, because in the written classes it's like always I'm just speaking and speaking. In this one I really want you guys to be interactive, give your input. Maybe just don't like you guys don't open all the mics at once, and just raise your hands if you have any question, any queries, and maybe just write in the chat box as well. Okay, so the more interactive the class is, the more beneficial it is going to be for each one of you. So let's start. Okay. So, starting with what is the timing? I know some of you, I'm going to take these things from the very basics. Okay. So considering that all of you need to know each of the details. So starting with how the history station goes on. So you know that each in so first, okay, before starting this, let's have like a journal look on how the clinical exam is. So the clinical exam has 10 stations. There are 4 clinical stations. There is one development station. 1 to 4 is the clinical station. 5th is development. 6th is the history station. 7 and 8 are the communication stations, and 9 and 10 are the video stations. Okay, so for each station, the exam is assigned in such a way that each station is in a different room. And before going to the station, you have some waiting time outside in which you are provided with a paper and a pencil in which you can write things and make your flow chart or something. And then you go inside the station and then you complete that. So what happens is that in this history station, you can see that 4 minutes are given outside. Candidates read the candidate information sheet. You'll be given a sheet in which your role is being written, that you're a pediatric registrar or whatever your role is. The setting will be given, that are you taking the history in an outpatient department, or is it in a ward? Is it in an emergency side room? Any of it. So it's important to have a read on that. And in so you have 4 minutes for that. So we're gonna discuss later on that how can you utilize these 4 minutes and what do you have to do in these 4 minutes. So at 4 minutes, the candidate enters the station. Then the history taking is for 13 minutes. Okay. So the examiner introduce self and the role player. So you have all your exam sheets in your hand. Okay. You're given a folder in which all the exam sheets, like your marking sheets, are given to you. So when you go inside, there's an examiner and you give your exam sheet to the examiner, and then he introduces himself, and then he asks you to start taking the history. Examiner provides introductory statement very briefly if that's required, and then he asks the candidate to take a focus history. Can you start taking the history? So at 9 minutes, there's a bell. So it could be a bell, but usually there's a knock on the room or you will be informed basically that 4 minutes are left. Okay. So you see that history is for 13 minutes, and at 9 minutes, you're going to hear a bell or a knock or any intimation would be given, and you will be knowing that 4 minutes are left. That's important because you are not going to have a watch or something ideally in the exam station. So you need to practice from the very beginning in a way that you know that I'm going to complete my history in 13 minutes. And once you know that it's 4 minutes, so you can just wrap up things. And like if you are being late, if you have not done a lot of things previously, so you just start doing things a bit quickly. At 13 minutes, the helper announces that it is end of history taking. So once the history is over, the role player who is sitting, who was going like giving the history, he or she is gonna go out, and then you're gonna face the examiner. And for the next 9 minutes, you're going to be facing the examiner, who is going to ask all the questions. So the candidate discusses the patient problems with the examiner. Then helper again warns at 3 minutes, but that's like not really important because the things keep on going on. Candidate discusses the management planning with the examiner. At 22 minutes, the helper announces that the station is over and the candidate moves on. So this history and the development station, these are the two big stations in the exam, which are 22 minutes each. And it's a long time and it's really hard. Like at times it's really hard to uh, go through these 22 minutes. So what's going to happen is that at a time, you know that one circuit has 10 stations, and at a time 12 candidates are giving the exam at one time. So basically, history station and the development station are running side by side. Two stations are running side by side. Usually, it's the same case that is given in both the red and blue. The one circuit is mentioned red and one circuit is mentioned blue. So both of these have the similar histories. Recently, I got to know that in one exam, there was a bit of a difference in the history, but I think that really doesn't matter. So you need to know that this is going to be a long station and this is the time division. So when we are going to do it in our practice sessions, in our classes, we are going to do it exactly in the same way. I'm going to give you 4 minutes for the preparation, then the 13 minutes for history. I'll be telling you in between that 4 minutes are left, and then last 9 minutes for the discussion. Okay. So now moving towards that, what is the aim of the history station? Obviously, in the exam, they have put each station.
I'm sorry, can I ask the previous slide, please? Thank you. You're explaining very well. Thank you so much, Dr. Ikra, like always. I want to know. You said before you came in the